Think about the last person you compared yourself to, and not in a vague way, and the actual person. Maybe someone you saw online, maybe in your field, maybe with the body you want, or the business you want, the relationship you want, the house you want, the confidence you think you should already have, the life that looks like it is moving faster than yours. And now notice what happens inside when you thought of them. Did your chest contract? Did your stomach drop? Did your energy disappear? Did your mind immediately say, she's ahead and I'm behind? She has figured it out and I'm late. I should be doing more. Why is it working for her and not for me? And that is the comparison trap. And today we are not going to talk about comparison like a cute little insecurity. We're going to call it what it is. Comparison is one of the fastest way to abandon yourself. Because the moment you start measuring your life against someone else's highlight reel, you leave your own body, your own path, your own timing, and your own wisdom. So today I want to help you catch comparison in the act. Come back to your own lane and choose one small action from self-trust instead of pressure. If this speaks to you, comment lane below and I'll send you the 3 questions from today's Get Back in Your Lane practice. And type live in the comments if you're watching this live or replay if you're watching it later. And put yes in the comments if comparison has ever stolen your joy within seconds. So, let me tell you the truth about comparison. You're not comparing truth to truth. You're comparing your fully messy, complex private life to someone else's polished public moment. You know your whole story. You know the tired mornings, the doubts, the bill, the arguments, the body image thoughts, the messy kitchen, the fear, the moments where you feel like you are barely holding it together, the uncertainty, the behind the scenes work nobody sees. And then you compare all of that to one post, one photo, one announcement, one promotion, one body, one holiday, one lunch, one relationship, one carefully chosen frame. So, of course, you're behind, or you feel like it. And you're comparing, it's like you're comparing a full length documentary to a 5 second trailer. And that is not a fair comparison. And yet we do it constantly. We scroll for 1 minute and suddenly the joy disappears. Not because a life, the person you're comparing yourself to is actually a threat, but because of the thought your mind adds. And that is, if she has it, I'm behind. If she's successful, I'm failing. If she looks like that, I'm not enough. If she's chosen, there is less for me. If she's moving fast, I must be late. And that is not inspiration anymore. That is self abandonment dressed as research. So, write trigger in the comments if you can feel there is a person, account, or platform that um, reliably pulls you away from yourself. And the thing is that comparison tells you it is helping. It says, I'm just checking what is possible. I'm just getting inspired. I'm just seeing what works. I'm just learning. And sometimes, yes, looking at the others can inspire you. There's nothing wrong with seeing someone do something beautiful and letting it expand your sense of possibility. That's beautiful. But you need to know the difference. Inspiration gives you energy, and comparison takes energy. Inspiration opens you, and comparison contracts you. Inspiration says that is possible, and comparison says that proves I'm behind. And inspiration brings you closer to your path, and comparison pulls you into someone else's path. And many high achieving women are not really inspired by what they are consuming. They are activated, they are measuring, they are scanning, they are using someone else's external life as a ruler to their internal worth. And that's painful because you cannot build a life that feels like home while constantly checking whether it looks good compared to someone else's. And comparison feels like it is about the other person, her success, her body, her money, her home, her relationship, her confidence, her visibility, her clients, her career, her ease. But most of the time, comparison, it's not actually about them. It's about the story their life activates in you. Maybe her success activates the story, I'm late. Maybe her confidence activates, I'm not brave enough. Or maybe her body activates, I'm not beautiful enough. Maybe her relationship activates, I'm not chosen. Or maybe her business activates, I'm failing. Maybe her freedom activates, I'm trapped. So the person is not the wound, the person is the mirror. And the mirror is showing you where the not enough story is still alive. And that's not to blame you. I'm not saying this to blame you. This is to give you your power back. Because if you think the problem is her, the other person, you will keep scrolling, watching, judging, analyzing, or trying to beat her. But if you see the thought underneath, now you can come back to yourself. You can ask, what did this comparison just make me believe about myself? Let's imagine this. You're walking on your own path. Maybe it's not glamorous, maybe it's slower than you expected, maybe it has turns you did not plan. Maybe there are seasons where nothing looks impressive from the outside, but it's yours. Your pace, your lessons, your timing, your children, your body, your work, your healing, your business, your relationships, your becoming. And then you look to the side. You see someone else running. She looks faster, more elegant, more certain, more visible, more rewarded. And suddenly, instead of taking your next step, you leave your path and start studying hers. How is she doing it? Why is she ahead? What does she know? What am I missing? Should I change direction? Should I be more like that? Should I hurry? Should I do what she's doing? And now you're not walking your path anymore. You're standing still staring at hers. And that is the hidden cost of comparison. It does not only make you feel bad, it stops your movement. It pulls energy away from your own next step. And it pulls attention away from your inner wisdom. It makes you forget that you were never meant to run her race. You are meant to walk your path with enough presence to hear what is next. And that is why comparison is so expensive. It costs you your own life while making you obsessed with someone else's. And here's the shift for today. Comparison is not cured by achieving more, because if the not enough story is still running, you will just find a new person to compare yourself to. You get the promotion and now you compare to someone with a bigger title. you earn more and now you compare to someone with more freedom. You lose weight and now you compare to someone younger or more toned. You grow your business and now you compare to someone with a bigger audience. You become more confident and now you compare your confidence to someone else's. Comparison keeps moving the finish line. So the answer is not more achievement. The answer is connection. Connection to your body, to your values, to your own timing, to your real desire, to your inner wisdom. Connection to the next step that is actually yours. Because when you're connected to yourself, someone else's success can exist without becoming a verdict on your life. Her success can be her success. Your path can be your path. Both can be true. There's enough space, there's enough possibility, there's enough life. And you do not have to shrink because someone else is shining. You do not have to hurry because someone else is moving. You do not have to abandon your rhythm because someone else's rhythm is louder. And if comparison keeps pulling you away from yourself, it is not only an Instagram problem, it is often a self trust problem, it's often a worthiness problem. It's often a fear of judgment problem. It's often an inner safety problem. Because the reason comparison hurts so deeply is not only because someone else has something, it hurts because their life touches the place where you are not yet fully anchored in your own. And that is exactly the deeper work we do inside my coaching. We do not just say stop comparing, because that does not work. We look at the identity underneath, the part of you that believes you're behind, the part that thinks your worth depends on achievement, the part that does not trust your own timing, the part that keeps outsourcing your value to other people's results, the part that keeps asking the outside world to prove whether you are enough. And we bring you back to yourself, not as a nice sentence, but as a practice, as a lift shift, as a new way of standing in your own life. And today's practice for you is the following, and you can use it whenever comparison pulls you out of yourself. I call it get back in your line. And we have three questions here. So, first is, what exactly am I comparing? And be very specific, not just her life, but what exactly? Her income, the body, the marriage, the confidence, the house, the audience, the career, the motherhood, or freedom. Just name the metric, because vague comparison feels huge, but specific comparison becomes easier to work with. The second question is, what story am I making it mean about me? And that is the big one. Because does it mean I'm behind? I'm not enough. I made the wrong choices. I'm too late. I should be doing more, or I will never have that, or I'm failing. Because the pain is usually not what she has. The pain is what your mind makes it mean about you. And that's totally different stuff. And the third question is, what is one next step in my own lane? So, not her lane, yours. Maybe the next step is to rest, to write, to create, ask for support, or stop scrolling, or send a message, go for a walk, and or make the offer. Maybe it is to return to the thing you already knew mattered. So the practice is asking yourself those three questions. What am I comparing? What am I making it mean? And what is the next step in my own lane? And that is how you interrupt the comparison spiral, not by shaming yourself, but by returning to your own path. So let's try it for a moment. Think of one comparison that has been living in your mind lately. Again, keep it small enough to look at it now, I mean. And now ask, what exactly am I comparing? Name it. Now ask, what am I making it mean about me? Be really honest. Maybe it's I'm late. I'm not attractive enough. I'm not successful enough. I'm not visible enough. I'm not disciplined enough. I'm not chosen. And then ask, is that true? Or is that a thought my mind created from one small piece of someone else's life? And the third question, what is one next step in my own lane? One step, not a life overall, not punishment, not a pressure move, not a just one aligned step. And let that be enough. Now, for the next 7 days, I challenge you to unfollow the noise so you can follow your own voice. Choose one person, one account, one platform that reliably make you feel less than. You do not need to announce it. You do not need to make it dramatic. You do not need to judge them. It's not about them. It's about protecting your connection to yourself. And then mute it, unfollow it, take a break from it. 7 days. And when the impulse to check appears, pause. Feel your feet. Take one breath. Place your hand on your heart if that feels okay and ask, what is my next best step for my life right now? Not hers, mine. And that one question brings your energy back. Because each time you choose your own voice over external voice, you rebuild self trust. That is the challenge. And follow the noise. And follow your own voice. And if you do this practice and realize comparison has been shaping more of your life than you thought, and that is not something to shame yourself for, okay? Let's be clear about that. But it is something to get support around, because when comparison becomes a pattern, it often means you have been living disconnected from your own enoughness for a long time. And you do not have to untangle that alone. You see, inside coming home to yourself coaching, we work with the deeper patterns underneath comparison, like feeling not enough, fear of judgment, performance, self abandonment, the belief that you're behind, the habit of measuring your worth through external proof. And we rebuild the relationship with yourself from the inside out, so you can make decisions from clarity, not comparison. So you can want what you actually want. Move at your own pace, trust your own timing, and stop letting someone else's life define what is possible or acceptable for yours. If that is the work you know you need, message me, Lane, and we can begin the conversation. And I want to leave you with this for today. You cannot win the comparison game, because the game was never designed to bring you home to yourself. It was designed to keep you chasing, checking, measuring, questioning, shrinking, striving, and forgetting. Forgetting your own path, your own timing, your own values, your own next step. So stop playing. Not because you do not care about growth, but because you care enough about your life to stop abandoning it. You see, someone else's life is not your instruction manual. Your path is still waiting for your attention. Thank you for being here today, and come home to yourself.